welcome to Espace Tricot podcast number 11. Finally, after a very long summer hiatus.
Yeah, we're well into September, and I think we recorded our last one in May. Number 10 was in May, right?
Oh my God, that was a long time ago.
It's a long time ago. We didn't plan to take that much time off. We really didn't.
But life kind of takes over.
Yeah, it's been very busy, but great. We had an amazing summer, but it was full of lots of changes. So in addition to long European tours, which many of you may have seen us document on our Instagram account, I actually also made a move back up to Montreal, which is very exciting. Yay!
She's back.
Yeah.
She's back. It's funny, like I never thought that would happen.
I know you didn't.
Yeah, it was, people, when they said to me, so is Melissa, like, she's gone? I'm like, yeah, she's there. There's no other opportunity for Johannes to come back. He's there, and that's it. So this is what it's going to be.
Yeah.
And then, like, all of a sudden, wham, bam.
Right, we're coming back. We're coming back.
Yay.
So it's actually been a little bit stressful and busy because my son and I actually came back we came back ahead of my husband. He brought us up, of course, but and he goes back and forth, but he's going to be a few months behind us. So we're just camping out at my sister's place.
Just down the street.
Just
How
at
handy.
2 blocks from the store, which is perfect in the old neighborhood. So we just kind of get into the swing of things,
And figuring out a kind of new way of we still kind of, with us, it just always seems to work out.
Yeah.
The only problem is that we seem to take a lot of space in the store. So we've been told that we better find ourselves an office.
Exactly. Are you guys going to be around for, you guys staying? You guys should leave. Why
don't you go to the coffee shop next door and have your meeting there? So especially now in the fall, it's quite a busy time because all our orders are coming in. And, most of you know we don't really have a back store. Yeah. So our little office that we've carved next to the bathroom is actually where we put the orders when they come in. Yeah. So we have orders.
It's all full of bins now. There's nowhere
for us to be. So we're kind of being pushed out a little, which is
that's all right. I'm used to working from home anyway. I work on the web store and social media and all that kind of stuff. But we need to come in. We need to look after orders, see what's coming in, take pictures.
And also, I think the idea really is for Melissa and I to sort of help Espace Tricot kind of go to the next level, but take a backseat from the day-to-day management of the store, which we have been doing in the past year. So it's to find a space for us to be able to create
and to do this kind of thing, do the more podcasting. And
because this morning we're here, the store is closed, we're trying to set everything up, we're kind of shifting things around. And if we had a dedicated office, storage, studio space,
that's where we'd be.
That's where we would be, and then we could be more prolific with our
we could
videos.
Podcast more. And
so we're looking at
I know because Monday mornings are essentially the only time that we can record in the store,
and even there we have to kind of negotiate because we have
between
people coming in the morning and restocking.
Lady. Yeah.
So we kind of we'll get there eventually, but I think it's on our radar. But
we're getting there. So we introduced you to Francoise a couple of months ago, who is our store manager, during the week. So she's here Tuesday through Friday. And then we recently hired Chloe, who's been working here for a while as well, to be our weekend manager. So that has also, I think, alleviated some of that transitional stuff that happens on the weekend, so that we are able to focus a little bit more on ordering and podcasting
and just kind of more pattern
inspirational
making
stuff
and sort of creating new products. So really we're hoping that this year is going to be going towards that, and the fact that we're together is a lot easier for us because even though we've managed it super well at a distance.
But it's not ideal.
No,
it was
because
never ideal.
We're like much more together. So it's kind of exciting. We're already going to meet an artisan this week to talk about some custom made projects. So we're really happy about that. So all that stuff is going on, and also just wanted to thank all the people who are following us this summer on our vacations.
Yes,
we felt so jet set.
We were
it was great.
Oh, wow, people are actually interested in what we're doing apart from knitting, which was kind of funny. And we we try to make sure that we have knitting content in our posts as much as possible, since we are always knitting. But people seemed interested in just what we were up to, which was kind of fun.
I know we were kind of hesitant at the beginning,
and then it's gonna be boring for people.
Yeah, I put a picture of this and I'm like, oh well, Melissa put that, so okay, I'll stick a picture of that, and it was, I have to say, considering that we own a shop, it's pretty amazing that we could both go away
for a month
and really when we came back the store was like running.
It was
like
But it was perfect.
It was perfect.
It just ran so smoothly while we were gone, and so we are very grateful to our staff.
Yeah.
I'm actually pretty proud of us.
Yeah, that we could let go.
Like, that we were able to leave and let go, and that we've sort of built the store to a place where we can do that, where we have staff that we totally love, we totally trust, and to run it like
we would run it. Exactly. And we had when I was a phys ed teacher before, and when I was studying university, we had leadership and curriculum courses, and one of our professors, I remember, he said to us, the sign of a good leader is that you can leave and the ship runs itself and everything runs smoothly.
Because you've done a good job of training your people, and So I
think that was really a testament to that. And then it was even...
So now we're never going to be...
Yeah, we're always going to go on vacation. But then what was even funny was that Françoise, well, you had come back.
Yeah,
but then Françoise left.
Right?
Yeah, Françoise left when...
And then you came back.
Because I saw Françoise in Switzerland.
Yeah.
So that was pretty fun. So that the actual store manager could leave too, and then it still worked well. So it was really, really nice. And what was really nice too is as we were traveling, all the comments from people that we were getting through Instagram. So it was still a way of being connected, but still being on vacation.
Yeah.
Like I really felt like I had a good vacation.
I had a good vacation too.
Yeah, we both did.
It goes by so quickly.
You need to take a vacation.
You think you're, a month. I mean, that's a long time to go on holiday, and then blink and it's over.
But it's what a way to disconnect. Like I find I've taken a lot of different lengths of vacation, and I find a month it's incredible.
A month is just perfect.
It's just perfect. 3 weeks not quite enough. Like if it's a luxury.
Yeah, it is.
But if you can do a month, it's amazing.
And we can't do that every year.
No.
Right?
Exactly. And like Sean, it's the first time he's ever taken a month.
Yeah.
And he couldn't believe the benefits.
Yeah.
So I think I highly recommend to take a month vacation.
Anyway, you know what? At least I don't even think we introduced ourselves.
Oh, there we go.
So,
for all the new people who are following us. So I'm Lisa.
And I'm Melissa. And we are the owners of Espace Tricot, which is a knitting store, yarn store in Montreal, Quebec. And this is our 11th podcast, which we mentioned at the beginning. We got off to a good start beginning, I think, last November, and we recorded 10 podcasts, and then things got away from us this summer, but we're so excited for the new season and
to be back into everything.
And getting all our...
And I also wanted to mention, we have so many tourists who've come to our store and who have heard about us through YouTube, through Instagram. And so that's really fun that people are coming to the store and they're recognizing us, and
I know we feel a little bit like celebrities, right? Like,
in the knitting world,
well, I mean, we're not celebrities even in the knitting
world.
In
the Montreal knitting world,
let's say. For the people that come in to see us specifically, it is
and they get excited. So it's kind of fun, and it's fun to share too, because we read the comments, and then they tell us who their name what their name is on Instagram or YouTube, or remember I'm the one who asked this question or made this comment. So I have to say that's been pretty fun. It's been nice.
So I think we wanted to take a minute too, just to thank everybody who's tuned in and who's been following us for the last few months, and if you're new to the podcast, then thank you so much for joining us, and we hope that you'll make us one. There are so many podcasts out there to choose from. As every day there seems to be a new one, and I think it's you were very lucky when you get a loyal audience.
Yes.
It means you're doing something that's appealing to people. So we do appreciate everybody who tunes in.
So that's our little I guess intro. We've or what's coming up, our trips.
I guess the Rhinebeck is 3 or 4 weeks away now.
Yeah, it's in October.
Yeah, so we're excited. This is your first year, right?
My first. I'm a newbie.
This is my second, and last year I only went for the Saturday. I was in New York, so we just drove up. A friend of mine and I drove up for the day, and it was October, and so it was before we started recording our podcast. But I had been watching podcasts at that point. So, and there was a podcaster meetup on the hill at Rhinebeck. You'll see it. Yeah. I actually don't know if they're doing that this year. I haven't really looked into it or heard anything about it. But it was exciting to see, look on the hill and see all the there's Chelsea and Sue from Legacy Knits, and there's so and so and so. So it was fun, and I thought, maybe we'll be on that.
Maybe one day when we grow up.
Yeah. So that's fun, and of course it's a beautiful experience just seeing all the animals, the sheep, the alpacas, the vendors. It's so we're looking forward to that, and we will be meeting up with Christy Glass while we're there, hanging out with her a little bit. So and I'm sure she'll be doing her Rhinebeck sweater
Yes, that's
video
it. So we're busy knitting up our matching Rhinebeck sweaters.
Okay, we'll talk about those, right?
We'll talk about those a little later on. The only issue now is like who's going to drive, so who can knit while the other drives.
Well, we're driving in your car, and I don't drive standard, so I guess I'll be knitting.
The joys. So that's we're looking forward to that.
Yeah. What else do we have?
Then, well, our big goal. So it's so funny. I said to Melissa, we're going to say it. We're going to say it to make sure we go. So it's a long time we've been talking about going to the big trade show in Germany called the H&H Cologne, and so
we're doing it.
We're going to do it this year. So
next year. 2018.
In March,
in March.
This school season. My years are like school seasons.
Yeah, exactly.
So we said we're going to do it, and it just so happens that the week before it is the Edinburgh Fiber Festival
in Scotland.
Yeah. So we're going to try to do one and then the other. So that's really our goal. So sometimes we have to put it out there and say it for us to stick to it because.
Yeah, but I think we can do it.
I think we can make it happen.
I think we have some credit card points.
Yeah, that we can transfer over to that. So that's kind of what's coming up in terms of our long-term goals.
So actually, let us know if you're going. If you're
let
us know if you're going to Rhinebeck. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to meet anybody who watches us who's going to be there. We'd love to meet people in person.
Of course.
It's kind of, we have this sense of having a community out there, but it's always nice to meet people in person.
Well, it's like when we were at TNNA, we actually met people. TNNA is a trade show, so it's for other vendors like store owners and suppliers. And there are some store owners that we hang out with every year because we see them, but there's always new shops popping up. Yeah. So actually, a few people contacted us before and said, can we meet you while we're at TNNA? And that was really nice too. So we had met through YouTube, but then meeting in person and then talking shop and all that. So that was really fun. So please don't be shy.
Don't be shy to. I think we're friendly.
I think so.
We're friendly. We'll be friendly.
And we speak English, French, German, Italian, and Spanish. So you can approach us in many languages.
Exactly.
So that's sort of what is kind of upcoming. We also wanted to talk, just to mention that we were closed for a day because we did our inventory.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So so the store, stuff is rolling in every day now.
Yeah, every day.
Right?
Yes.
For the fall. So typically we try to get our inventory done in July every summer, just after our annual birthday celebration for the store. And so we have our sale and then we have our inventory, which was much delayed this year because we were traveling. So we didn't get it done right until the end. But I actually feel that the timing worked out.
Yeah, I think so. It was just before school started. Everybody was back.
And we had some stuff coming in already, but we managed to arrange our deliveries so that everything started really coming in full force right after inventory was done. So everything was just the store is beautiful and tidy and a pleasure to shop in right now. So we highly recommend if you're in the area, come check it out before it gets crazy. Yeah, exactly.
So we had that new
but that was good.
Yeah, that was good. Lots of staff changes. We have Catherine who's having her baby, so she's on her way out. We have Naomi and Ali who went back to school and not in Montreal, so they're off.
So they're not able.
Chloe's back at school, but she's shifted her schedule and she's our weekend manager. And so we have some new people. We have a new Stephanie, so we have two Stephanies now. Yeah. We have Carla, we have Olivia. So we have some new people that we're training up to help us with our store. So we have that. We've put quite a few yarns on liquidation.
Oh yeah, so that was sort of on the heels of the inventory. Yeah, so we have some beautiful yarns that unfortunately we've decided that we have to say goodbye to because we've had them in store, a few of them for quite a few years, and they're actually yarns that we still love, but we feel that we wanted to make some space for some new stuff and then potentially bring these ones back. But for now, we've decided to liquidate them. So we have a good selection of yarns on sale at 30% off. Quality. Yeah, everything from Spud and Chloe's sweater to, I'm just looking over there.
Haiku Simplicity.
We
had some Rowan felted tweed. I don't know if it's there. Langnova.
Exactly. Some good yarns, good brands, and like I said, we're gonna move them out and then possibly bring them back. But for now, making space for all we've ordered a lot of yarn for the fall. So
we have a sale tab on our
so there is a sale tab on the web store. So everything that's on sale in store is also available on sale on our online store. And we're also adding a new section to the web store. Hopefully it'll be added by the time this podcast goes live, and if not, hopefully within the next week or so. And that's for kits, because we're deciding finally to, kits have been hit and miss for us in the past, but I think we've decided that there are some that are just great. They're reliables, right? And some new ones that we wanted to try. So maybe in the course of the podcast, we'll mention a couple of them that are going to appear there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that should
so look for that in the next little while.
And then there's a class schedule. That's
posted. Yes, and the class schedule was also posted at the beginning, second week of August. Yeah. There's some great classes being offered, some new ones, some old tried and true ones, standards, exactly, and some new ones. We have a couple of new Espace Tricot patterns that we're going to be running as classes. I think we Instagrammed the little foxes that Jocelyn's teaching. Fiddlehead mittens has been a really popular one. So there's everything from introduction to learn to exactly. Kids learn to knit. Intro to crochet. Do we have a crochet one scheduled?
Well, we hadn't scheduled, and then we were going to, so I'm not sure if we ended up scheduling yet. I have to talk to Françoise about that.
And some of our classes run sort of like 12 weeks. So the
Building with Lace
one is one that runs over 12 weeks, and others are just 3-hour workshops that you can come in and
or 3 weeks.
3 weeks or 3 hours. Yeah, exactly.
And obviously they're not online classes, they're in store, so it would be more for people who are in the neighborhood. And just want to thank Françoise also, because it's always a struggle to get our class schedule out, because there's so many factors and coordination. And this year I think it's the first time that we set a deadline and we made our deadline.
We did it.
So that's kind of our little intro, housekeeping, what's new, and we should move into our new yarn. So we've taken some Tanis, Brooklyn Tweed, Artfil, and Shibui, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about today.
Okay.
So do you want to go ahead and start off and explain the whole Tanis thing? The new, this is the fingering, this is the DK, this is the worsted.
Okay, so many of you will be familiar with Tanis Fiber Arts. She's a wonderful hand dyer who is actually based in Montreal, and she was selling in several stores and also through her own website. And then a few years ago, I think when she had her first baby, she decided to scale back, focus more on selling herself. And we were very lucky to be retained as one of her only retail store. So we were carrying her original lines, which were the yellow label, green label, red label.
We did a bit of the orange label, a little bit of the pink label.
And those were her fingering and worsted, her Aran weight worsted and her DK, and they were super popular. Last year, Tanis decided to develop or search out a new base, which is, how do you describe it? It's a little bit woollier. It's a beautiful base, and
it's a very unique kind of base, because the superwash has a certain feel and the wool has a certain feel, right?
And the process for creating a superwash yarn can be quite harsh, I guess,
on the environment.
Harsh on the environment, and it does depending on how it's done, it can leave a bit of a coating on the yarn. And I know that Tanis is very motivated to find a natural, sustainable way to create her product
and make and live her life.
So this is organic. 100% merino yarn.
Well, she says right here, organic merino treated.
Okay.
So I think so if we read the little label here, it says TFA pure wash yarns are made from the softest organic merino, which has been gently treated with a GOTS certified process to allow the fibers to be machine washable.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to having Tanis come into the store and give us a little talk about how she went about developing this line. In any case, we have just received her fingering weight, her DK weight, and her worsted weight. It's called Pure Wash. Pure Wash, Tanis Pure Wash, and then the fingering DK and worsted weights. And they're so beautiful, of course.
And she's still using her same colors, right?
Yeah, it's still the same colors, but just
really
on that different base.
And this is of course the color we're loving.
Yeah, this is that rose gray. I think this is a new one for this year. Yeah.
So it's interesting because it has still a springiness, it has a softness, but there's more of a woollier feel. than her previous one.
I mean, it's
but
merino.
a beautiful woolly feel.
Yeah, there's no scratchiness.
No scratchiness, no pick.
No.
So it's kind of interesting. It's a different. It's a way to have beautiful hand-dyed yarns that are superwash, but at the same time ethical and responsible. Yeah. So we have our whole line of fingering DK worsted. Lots of color.
So do you want to talk about Artfil?
Yeah, so Artfil. So Artfil is a yarn. Oh, maybe do you want to pass me the stucco, Melissa? So Artfil is another local yarn. And we've carried the bell for quite a while now. So Yana and Stan are the owners of Artfil. And they don't live too far from us either. They're here in Montreal. And what's nice about Artfil is that they've created an ecological process where they spray their yarn.
They spray paint it. So they use 5% of the water
that you would normally use in a dye, and then there's less runoff into the streams with all the chemicals from the dye. And they're in the process of getting an ecological certification for their yarn. So it's nice that our local hand dyers are moving in this direction. Julie Asselin also is moving. She's just changed all her dyes, and she's moving to that area. So they don't always promote it. They just figured it's just responsible for them to do it. But we said to them, you should promote it because it's nice for us as knitters to know what our yarn, what's
going into the yarn.
And how it's affecting the environment.
Yes, exactly.
So so in terms of Artfil, that's her process. And so we've been carrying the bell for a while, which is a merino nylon yarn for sock. And then we introduced the Americana last year. So this is the Americana DK, which is a superwash merino. And she's doing some speckles, so that's kind of nice.
It's confetti. It's so fun.
And is this one? And this is confetti in the Aran. So the Aran superwash.
Show you the.
I don't know. It's a bit
I don't think they can see.
I'm trying to find the best. Oh, maybe up here.
Yeah.
So we're introducing her Aran yarn. So we're really excited now to have her 3 weights, just like Tanis. We have 3 weights. Now with Artfil, we have 3 weights. And what's nice is, yes, they're both hand dyed, but they dye in different ways. So you have a different depth, you have different colors, you have a different texture. So, and it's nice to support our local hand dyers. So now we have Artfil Aran, Artfil Americana DK, and Artfil Bell.
And her bell, which is
over there.
Yeah.
And she's coming up with a new yarn called Solo, which is a single ply fingering weight, and we should be getting that. That's the bell.
And that's the fingering weight.
And we'll be getting a single weight solo fingering.
Single ply.
Single ply, not single weight. So we'll be getting that either next week or the week after.
I know, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, me too.
One,
well, we love single ply fingering.
Yeah, single ply anything, right? Yeah.
So that's that. And then the next one is...
you want to talk about Birch?
Yeah, sure. So Shibui is a yarn that we love. And so they're always coming up with new things. We knit a lot with it in the summer. We had the reed.
Yes.
And then we have the pebble and, Silk Cloud. Silk Cloud.
With everything.
So Shibui has come up with a new yarn, and it's called Birch. So it's a single ply, extra fine merino.
Yeah. It is so soft. So this has an incredible micron count that is actually very similar to cashmere's, and so it's unbelievably soft. Really, have you felt it?
Yes,
it's unbelievably soft. So I'm looking forward to knitting this. I actually was thinking of hopping on your Second Avenue bandwagon.
And doing this one.
And knitting with this one.
With Silk Cloud stranded, of course.
Well, no, I might actually go straight up. Exactly. Because I just don't think this yarn needs anything else. I'd really love to try it on its own.
Well, at TNA we had, do you have the picture of the cardigan? Remember I tried that cardigan on the Zona? Not the Zona. Yeah, the Zona was the cardigan.
Oh, I don't know if I...
Yeah, it's over there.
Oh, is that the one you tried on? That one?
No. Yeah, remember?
This one?
It was in black. I tried it on.
That one?
Yeah.
Oh, was that Zona?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I tried this one on at TNA in black. It's, quite simple, but so warm and cozy that you just throw on top of everything.
And is that knit with Birch single-stranded?
Yes. I believe it was Shibui Birch.
No,
it was
Seema. Birch and Seema.
Birch and Seema together, which we carry the Seema as well.
Exactly.
And what I love about this is, sometimes you're cold and you don't want to change your sweater, but you can just put this over whatever you're wearing because of the sleeves.
It looked really great in black, I have to say.
Yeah, it looked really, really nice.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
So that was a nice one that we were looking at, thinking of knitting.
We have so much stuff here that we should actually just sort of throw things off the table as we talk about them.
That's what we do normally. And one thing I wanted to say about the Birch is we don't really have a single ply that's not a hand dye.
That's actually true. So this is, I mean, if you're a person who cares about consistency of the color, exact consistency of a color across your knit, but you love a single ply yarn, this is, and I would say this knits up to, they call it a sport, but they also give it a gauge of 26 to 28 stitches. So I think that this is interchangeable in any grain weight project as well.
Yeah, and we're doing up a sample now, and we're having it done like at a 24 stitch gauge because we wanted a little bit more drape.
We're actually having this one knit up here. Is that clear?
Yeah.
So that's a free pattern with purchase of the yarn. It's called Icon. So if you purchase a yarn and you want the pattern, just let us know and we'll send it.
So maybe if you decide to buy this yarn online, just leave a little note in the comments because sometimes we forget. So just say, don't forget to include the free Zona pattern from, not Zona, Icon pattern.
Icon pattern,
So we love that pattern. It has a geometric shapes. It's, of course, in our neutrals, but, you could do it in any color that you wish.
And even though... that's the only new Shibui yarn that we've gotten in for the fall. I think it is, right?
Yes.
Okay. We have restocked all our other Shibui products as well. So Silk Cloud, of course, and the Pebble.
Yes, the Pebble. And we totally restocked the Pebble.
Yeah, and so this is a project that I'm dreaming of. We tried this on at...
TNNA.
At TNNA. And this is knit with the Silk Cloud and Pebble held together. And it's an ingenious cowl that that you sort of, I'll show this. That's sort of a diagram of how it's constructed. But then you can push one side down inside the other, and then you get this great double effect. Or you can wear it like that, where you just have your two ends and can tie it around your neck. Can you see that?
It's a little bit
tilted.
There. Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, so I just think that's so clever, and I just love the two color effect. Yeah, and you can flip whichever one out to be the dominant one. So I think that's
wanted to say that it was designed by Shelly Anderson.
Oh yeah, and it's called Athos.
She's such a great designer.
It's got my name all over it.
we met her at TNNA, and we know her, but we saw her again at TNNA, and we're just like, we can't get enough of your patterns. They're just so classic. And I always am amazed with designers who year after year can come up with new ideas.
And not just new ideas, whole collections. Like Shelly does a whole collection every year for Shibui. It's amazing. I think maybe even twice a year. I'm not sure.
I think you're right. And even like yesterday on Instagram, I saw Heidi Kermeyer. Yeah. She showed that she's going to be launching her collection, and she had all her photos. And I'm like, it's just like a fashion designer, It's so professional, and it's amazing. I just kudos to them. When we first opened the store, we really had to educate a lot of our customers about buying patterns. Yeah. Because they're just like, well, if I get the yarn, I want the pattern, don't I get the pattern for free? And we're like, designers, that's how they make their living. Yeah. And if we want to knit beautiful things, we need to support designers. So we're all for that. And it's amazing to see that designers are becoming more prolific and they're making a living off their designs.
They're making a living off of it, you know?
And people aren't just photocopying and giving it to each other. So, kudos to Shelly.
Yeah,
and
so
to
we
all
feel really
beautiful
strongly
designers.
about that. And
so we have the prismatics, Melissa?
Oh, okay. You want to talk about that one, and then I'll talk about Quarry?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Quarry. Okay. It's even on, is it on my list? Yes, it is. So prismatics, we just could not resist the cutest little box.
Look how sweet.
We're like suckers for
packaging. I wonder if I should open the... maybe not, eh?
No, they're just so cute like that. I mean, they're mini skeins.
So these are, they're Sweet Georgia yarns, and it's her Tough Love sock base. And they're mini, she calls them mini skeins. I'm just wondering, I can't remember how many yards per. So it's 45 to 48 meters or 50 to 52 yards per skein. And each skein is 14 grams, and it's a merino nylon combination.
And how many colors does it?
I think 12.
12 colors. I think it tells you right here, Melissa. If you come here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. So great. Pretty.
So great for that pop of color. Now, there's a Stephen West Mystery Knit Along coming up at the end of this month that requires like 5 mini skeins. Okay. So I'm not exactly sure what yardage he requires. It's two main
colors, and then
and then pops of color. So this could be an option, or the Madeline Unicorn Tails and
Party of 5.
The Party of 5 kits from Sweet Georgia as well.
Nuance kits.
Oh, the Lezu fingering nuance kits from Julie Asselin. And possibly we're hoping to get some Artfil mini skeins as well.
And also maybe Scrumptious Pearl. Mini skeins, you know, the toe and heel.
Oh yeah, of course, of course. So I didn't mention them because we don't have very many of those in stock at the moment.
So, but, and we're trying to we haven't chosen a pattern yet to knit, so this is on our list. So, that's another thing we do at the beginning of the season is we take all of our new yarns or patterns and we look at what's out there and then we try to get everyone. We sort of outsource patterns. So we already have a few out there.
Yeah,
and this one is on our radar for
having that knit up because we can't knit everything anymore.
I know we did at the beginning and we're also very picky, you know, so we did it at the beginning, but now we've learned to let go of control and thankfully because our staff is amazing and we have all of our staff knits for us and then we also have some other people who knit for us as well, so that helps us to be abreast of all the new yarns and patterns that are out there.
Yeah. So another one that we brought in this year is Quarry from Brooklyn Tweed. So we've topped up all our Brooklyn Tweed yarns. So the Shelter, the Arbor, the Loft, and the Veil. Is that it? And then we've added Quarry. The Veil is their new lace weight that came out this summer and then or in spring, I guess.
I think so.
Right? And Quarry, because we brought in Shelter a little bit towards the end of last year, we didn't bring in the Quarry at that time, but this year we decided to jump in and I love this. This is a bulky, chunky weight yarn. I think it's 12 to 14 stitches per 4 inches. And it is so, well, I mean, it's a little bit like Shelter, but it's spun a little bit differently, I think. So it's not just just a single woolen spun. It's actually 3 strands that are lightly spun together. So it's not as, can you see?
Yeah, I think maybe.
Anyway, so it's still lofty, but it has a little bit more strength.
Structure, yeah.
A little bit more strength. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to knitting with this. It only comes in, I think, 13 or 16 colors. 13 colors, I think. So,
of course, look at the colors she picked off the rack because they're just, you know, not predictable.
Not predictable at all. So there's a Heidi Kiermaier.
Yes, pattern.
Was it Heidi Kiermaier? Yes, because
so.
I think it had. This is your Heidi Kiermaier that you're wearing.
Yeah,
and it had some of these, but it's knit
here
with
had
Quarry,
some
and
eyelets.
I'm thinking, had some eyelets coming down here. So I think I forget the name of it, but I think
that's on your radar.
That's on my radar.
Sweater,
exactly.
Because Melissa's all about the sweater now.
I am all about sweater knitting.
She is. So those are the new. We have other yarns, believe it or not, but we didn't want to overwhelm. So we'll do that next time. But these are the ones that we wanted to profile today, and then we also kits. Melissa and I, we back and forth with kits. I know a lot of stores do so well with kits and designers.
But they've never really done well for us.
I don't know why. I think, you know, there's also an energy. You know, if we don't really believe in them or we don't really knit from kits, then it's sort of like we have kits and then nobody buys them, so then we undo the kits and we sell the yarn. But I think this year we've had
some
targeted.
kits that did incredibly well.
Yes, we did. We did have some kits that did well.
And then others just...
And then it's just all this inventory sitting. But now we're going to put on our web store, as Melissa mentioned, a section with kits. And we're actually going to...
Sorry for the crinkling.
To target and, you know, kind of be smart about it. So this is the first kit you want to...
So, I should have brought all the different color options,
Are they up high? Or
No, I think there's one of each down on the shelf down there, Lise, where this one was.
Let me go get those.
Okay, so sorry for all the crinkling. These are all in cellophane, but this is our chevron baby blanket pattern, and so we've made kits in the original, and then Lisa and I developed 3 other options. A more boy. So this is pardon?
Yin yang.
Yeah, our yin, our yang, and our yin yang.
And our yin yang modern.
And our yin yang modern.
You know why we did that? Because we wanted to sort of get away from the idea of like boy, girl, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And we just wanted to say like more of like a yin energy, a yang energy, a modern yin yang. I don't know. We just kind of had fun with it.
So these are actually made with Blue Sky Fibers, 100%. Organic cotton. So worsted weight cotton. So it's 5 skeins. Each kit is 5 skeins.
Is that the same as? No, that's
this one.
The same one.
Yeah. So this is the one that was a little. What do we call this one? Yang.
It's written right there.
Yeah, that's yang. This one's yin. This one's yang.
This one's yin yang.
This one's yin yang.
Oh wait, there's another one.
I love this one.
Let me get another one.
Okay, we're just missing.
like why we decided because of the other stores we saw selling kits?
Oh yeah, yeah, because lots of people sell kits of our chevron baby blanket pattern with whatever yarn they choose to pair it with, and we realized that we were kind of like missing the boat on our own pattern. Did you find it, Lise?
The kit is all the way up there, Melissa. I don't have any.
Okay, but it's basically it's just more grays with
exactly, yin yang modern, I think we called it.
Yeah, yin yang modern, and it had it was basically shades of gray, like more neutrals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, so we love Koigu. So we decided, we have a full wall of Koigu. We restocked our Koigu, but it was on the runway for the fashion show.
Yeah.
This poncho came down, and I don't know if there's lots of glare, and this was like an amazing piece. And so we decided that let's try these. We just bought a few of these kits. And we said, let's give it a try and see if other people are interested.
I actually have a picture of you wearing this. Maybe I'll try and insert it because you can't really see.
It's hard to see.
Yeah, but I'll just show it. And it drops down lower at the back. It's a very flattering poncho.
Yes.
And it's all done with the mitered squares of different sizes, and it was stunning.
It was stunning. Like the colors, they're neutral, but there's color in there,
and it's more black. I would say it's more sort of like blacks and grays with some, and
it looked good on so many people. It was sort of like there's some colors that just suit everyone.
Yeah. So we ordered these mainly because Lisa and I want to knit them.
Because we have an issue. So we're like, we want to knit things, but then we don't sell them in the store, and then people want them for the...
So how many did we get? How many kits do we have?
I think we only have 4. I think we were kind of conservative.
Okay.
So
if this appeals to you, you get the Koigu magazine, and I think there's obviously several patterns in that magazine.
Yes,
right?
there's lots of patterns.
You'll get a collection of patterns along with that pattern for that, along with all of the yarn. I'm not sure how many skeins it is in there. Do you know?
Lots.
Yeah, lots. Okay.
So that's then the other kit is the
sweater that Lisa and I fell in love with.
That was another thing at TNA. So we know about Lopi. We've heard about Lopi for a long time.
And Barocco's now
scratchy, but Barocco is repping it, and we get Barocco yarns.
So we stopped by their booth, and we had to see the
sweater.
pattern, and we were like, okay.
Oh my God, it's beautiful.
So then we decided to order the Lopi yarn just in these colors. So we made kits, and Lisa and I have actually started. So then I think when Christy Glass was here a couple weeks ago, or a week ago or something. And
Labor Day. She was Labor Day.
Yeah, that's right. Week. And so she was in the store, and we were just chatting, and we were talking about Rhinebeck and maybe, knitting this sweater for Rhinebeck. And then like, was it her who suggested that we do the matching?
Yes. Well, we kind of said, well, we both wanted to do it, and then she was like, why don't you do it for Rhinebeck?
Exactly. So then all of a sudden we were like, yeah, we should have matching Rhinebeck sweaters. So anyway, this is the kit that we put together. It requires 10 skeins of the black, and 3 skeins of the white. The white will allow you to make any size of pattern that you require. And it goes up to XL, I think.
XL or XXL.
I think XXL.
That's another thing with kits is it was hard because, you have all the different sizes and which size do people want.
Yeah.
So if you make the very smallest size of that sweater, it's 8 balls of the black. And if you make the very large size, it's 10.
Yeah.
Now I'm doing a medium in certain parts, but for length I'm doing large. So in the end I'll need like
a little bit
9 or 10.
Yeah. And but it allows you to just change your proportions a little bit if you want to.
And if you didn't want to do Fair Isle on the sleeve, then you could do black and you'd have. So we said let's just, they come in bags of 10, so we'll just put
in fact, when I first started knitting, and I thought, maybe I won't do the Fair Isle on the sleeves, and I'll just do it around the yoke, which is the part I really love. But then I mean, I've never done Fair Isle before. I've never done color work before, believe it or not. And so last night I thought, I'm just going to try this. So I started the sleeve, and it is totally addictive. It is. I was up till 2 this morning.
And I have to say, it's like impressive because it looks like you're doing something like really complicated, but really it's just stockinette.
Sorry, there's a postman at the door.
Okay.
You keep talking.
Okay, I'll keep talking. So that's what I love too about, now some people might say it's not real Fair Isle, it's just color work, but we won't get into that discussion at this point. But it's really beautiful. beautiful pattern. And again, when we talk about, kits, what do we stock? We didn't want to stock a whole line of Let Lopi because we just don't have the space. So we said, let's stick with these colors, and hopefully other people will be inspired. They're just classic. So Melissa and I have both started on our projects. And it's good because we're both at the same place. We've both finished the body, the black, and then I'm almost finished my sleeve, and she's almost there as well. And then hopefully we'll get that done by Rhinebeck. So it'll be.
Show yours, Lise?
Well, I don't know. Should we show it now or show it later?
Why are we were we jumping the gun?
Yeah, well, this is in the kit section, but.
Oh yeah, okay. We'll show it then when we.
It's so hard because we do our plan and we're like, oh, I should be in this section, should be in that section. But I did find, Melissa, the Heidi Kermeyer sweater called Walking on the Moon.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if I could show it from my laptop.
Yeah, I think it should be a little bit closer maybe to get the glare there. So that's the one that's knit with Brooklyn Tweed Quarry.
Yeah. It's called Walking on the Moon by Heidi Kermeyer. Ooh, it's kind of there. Oh, there
anyway,
we go.
it's a cute shape.
And reminiscent of Heidi Kermeyer with her eyelets.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of, just like my sweater here, there's a bit of that diagonal.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe I should just quit since we're talking about Heidi Kermeyer.
Yeah.
So this is the Sunshine Coast that I knit.
In the Petit Lin
In the Petit Lin Plus. So
which
we
is
have her
our linen
eyelets.
yarn.
And here is her diagonal.
I think it turned out so
It did,
beautifully.
and my sleeves are the same length this time. And somebody on,
Lisa has a problem with.
I do have a problem with sweaters. So somebody asked me also about the neckline, about how, because they said about how big is it. So I have a tank top underneath, and then you could just see.
It doesn't fall. It's not so wide that it falls off.
Like if I look at my bra strap, my bra straps are here.
Yeah, so it's perfect.
Yeah, so I wouldn't have to wear it with a day. It's just a little cooler today, so I put it under, but you wouldn't need to wear a tank top.
Perfect.
So so it's really cute. And what's nice is I really like the way the diagonal pattern goes. You see how it it does
really
that,
nice.
which is super nice. And it's interesting because when I knit this, when you knit linen in the round, sometimes you get this twist. So it was totally twisted. Like this was this way, this was that way.
But were you worried about it?
Yeah, I was worried about it. But then as soon as I washed it, and I didn't even aggressively block it, I just placed it. It was perfect. So this is, speaking of Heidi Kermeyer.
It washed beautifully.
It really did. It's called Sunshine Coast. So that's that. Okay,
and
so
that's it with our Petit Lin Plus, which we talked about on the second to last podcast we recorded, I think. And just to let you know that we actually are going to be getting that sold quite well this summer.
Yeah.
So we have another shipment on its way.
Yeah, we decided we're going to carry it all year round.
Exactly.
Because it's nice to have a linen all year round. Sometimes people are allergic to wool.
Some people that are traveling to warm places.
Yes, exactly.
We have a lot of people who come up from
Florida and somewhere a place in the States, and we even have a lot of people come from Mexico and South America. So it's a linen we're going to stock all year round, just like we do with Sparrow and Kestrel.
Yes,
it's sort of there as
exactly.
well. So I think that the kits, Melissa, we have the Blue Sky fiber kits. Those kits. Oh my God, all these kits. We go from
no kits
from 0 to 100 in one season.
So last year we had the where's the pattern? Oh, here we go. So this was the 21 color slouch hat pattern that came out last year. It was packaged a little bit differently in some cellophane or plastic or something. And so Blue Sky actually, and these were impossible to keep in stock.
Oh my
last
God.
year.
We didn't even knit up a sample because we sold them before we had a chance to knit the sample.
So then this year Blue Sky has developed the 21 color mittens to go along, and they're super cute. So this one you actually get the gray is the full skein of the gray, and then you get 20 mini skeins of the other colors. But you have all 21 colors incorporated into both of them. I think those are great.
They're
great gifts.
Cute. Yeah, great gifts either to knit and give or just to give the.
Yeah,
I'm so excited because my son's teacher this year is a knitter.
So you can give her a kit.
Yay! And she's a customer of ours. So I'm like, I don't have to knit for her. I could just give her something to knit. So that's some nice ideas.
Great. I think that's all our kits.
Yeah, I think that's it. That's a good start. It's a nice little variety, from sweaters to ponchos to blanket to.
And then maybe what we'll do is start developing kits for our Espace Tricot patterns. Yeah. Okay.
Big plans. Yeah. Now that Madame is in town. Okay, so now our new accessories and notions.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot to get those darning needles.
Okay. So listen to me in case I forget to mention something about these. Okay.
My 2 cents from
So when Lisa, yeah, exactly. So when Lisa and I were at the trade show in June this year, somebody recommended that we go and visit the Tulip booth because I don't think we had never knit with any Tulip products, Lisa, or we just heard of them and we didn't know very much about them. And so somebody highly recommended that we go and check them out, and I think as soon as we walked into the booth we just fell in love with all of the products that we saw. We tried the needles, we just loved all the packaging, we loved, I mean, these Tulip sets. So we ordered the Quarry C and the Quarry C Long interchangeable kits, and these are bamboo kits that come in the most incredibly compact, comprehensive, almost everything you need in these kits, right? So the difference between the two kits is obviously the length of the needle tips. So the short ones, is that one
this is the regular long.
That's long, right? Right. So these are short. So the short ones actually include a 16-inch, a 24 and a 32-inch cord, so that you can use this kit to do anything, to, you know, hats and cowls. So anything that needs that small circumference, but you can also use them for anything else. So if that kit is enough for you, then that's all you need.
And then that one's just called the Quarry C.
Yeah. And then the Quarry C Long is the more standard needle tip lengths. I think they're 5 inches. And it has a 20-inch cord, a 24, and a 32 and a
Yeah, well,
and
what's
40.
interesting is what they've done is that they have different cords for each kit, so you can get exactly your 24-inch or 32-inch. So even though the cords are interchangeable from one kit to the next, they've developed a line of cords for the Quarry C, so you can get your exact 16, 24, 32, 40, and they've developed cords for the Quarry C Long to get your exact 24. So that's and then what's also interesting is that they make the 4.25 millimeter.
Yeah.
Which we haven't seen in any other company.
Exactly.
So we've actually ordered the 4.25 millimeter extras as single. So,
and we've also ordered all the cables extra too.
Yes.
So if you buy the short kit but you need the 20-inch cord or want the 20-inch cord, you can buy that separately.
yeah, you can mix and match.
Yeah.
And then talk about
Oh,
all the
I
little
know.
goodies.
So
in there.
and everything is just so. I brought this kit on my travels this summer actually, and I was like, oh, you know, there's no. I need scissors, but I didn't have scissors, and then I realized that their gauge ruler has a little cutter, a yarn cutter in there. So I just felt like everything I needed was somehow in here. So we have your extra cords, of course. You have your gauge ruler that will measure your tips as well as measure the gauge of your knitting. And then you've got your stoppers. So if you need to switch out your needles, your tips. So you've got 4 stoppers in each kit. Then you've got a connector in case you want to make a really long connect to cords. And you've also got your darning needles in that kit as well.
We've never had a kit that comes with darning needles
Yeah.
and a yarn cutter. It's
Yeah.
pretty, I mean, it's
It
funny
is pretty
how
amazing.
excited you get about things.
And then what's really, really nice about these needles, I know that there are some other interchangeable kits that have this, but I haven't used any. The Addies don't do this, and the Hayas don't do this, I don't think. The swivel?
Yeah, I think the Haya is starting to swivel. You know, the Haya's made a lot of changes, so that's one kit that we have trouble keeping abreast, but they do swivel, but they have the rubber.
So this one, So what's nice about this kit is it requires no tools for connecting. You just twist it on, and there's like a little rubber ring inside that allows it to be perfectly secure.
Yeah.
It doesn't come apart. I've used them all summer. Nothing's happened, and partly because this cord swivels, there's no pressure on that joint to untwist, right? So I just find they're this incredibly compact, comprehensive, everything you need in a kit, and I love them. And I'm actually a metal kneader.
Yeah.
I prefer Addies are my needle of choice, but I liked the smoothness. I found they were slippy enough. What I liked using them for was my Ranunculus, which is a sweater I'm working on that I will talk about a little bit later. But mohair, because it's knit with mohair. So anytime I'm knitting with mohair or very fine or light yarn, I like to use the bamboo needles because Okay, we're up and running again. I got cut off there because my phone rang because I forgot to put it on airplane mode. But I think I was just saying that I loved having this.
Yeah.
Oh, I was talking about
Traveling?
no, I was talking about liking to use bamboo needles with my lighter weight yarns and mohair because the metal ones can be a little heavy and they can just slip right out because they're heavier.
Yes. And
Right?
I think if you compare the shaft, the finish, that's what I want.
Yeah.
So I've used the Addy bamboo when I'm doing mohair, when I'm doing linen. These are a little more slick than the
They're a little bit
than
slicker,
the Addy bamboo. They're a little pointier, but they're not as slick and pointy as the Lykkie needles.
Oh, really? I find that's interesting that you say that because I find that they are not as pointy, but I found them a little slicker.
Oh, you found them slicker than that?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Unless maybe I'm thinking of the Knitter's Pride that are more...
Oh, maybe.
Because these are slicker than Addy and they're slicker than Haya Haya.
Yeah.
But I guess the Lykkie, it's... it's very subtle. Oh, well, we have the Lykkie right there, Melissa. So I also wanted to mention...
Yeah,
so
they
this
are
is,
pretty slick, though, these ones.
These ones?
Yeah.
Légèrement, as you would say, eh? Light, just a little. These are a little less slick than the Lykkie needles, but they're not as pointy. No, that's mine here.
Okay.
And then this is my set over here, and what I like too is that I took the 4.25, and so they fit right in the case because there's no extra space.
Yeah.
So I have they also start, which is interesting. They start at 3.25, which most kids start at 3.5.
3.5.
Yeah, so they go 3.25, 3.5, 3.75, 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5, then they jump to 8 and 9. So they don't have the
and
10.
most sets don't have 7mm
tips anyways, and then I have the extra 475 that I put in here. And
does it come? Can you get 7mm tips for this?
you know what?
Remember.
I can't remember now.
Yeah.
If we can, it's on. It'll
be online.
Yeah, it'll be online because we sell all the tips. And what I have to say is, it's pretty darn compact.
Oh my god!
And I love the hard case. I know we have Hayas, but they're softer, and a lot of people love the Haya case. But I love a hard case because I'm always on the go.
And it's just you don't have to worry about your needles being
and everything fits in here. And
Yeah.
if you forget your notions case, you have everything you need. So we're a sucker for like the cases, the packaging, the compactness, the cuteness. And this is the lot.
Like this, I could just pack a little book in your.
And this is the Carry C regular, and so those how they distinguish. So we kind of fell in love with all Tulip things. Oh, and also here are the little.
So we have the interchangeable kits. We have the extra cords. We have extra tips. We have all the sort of like little extra stoppers and
extenders
extenders and stuff. Yeah. And then we bought the
tapestry needles. So we have two kinds. And again, I'm sorry, totally cute packaging.
Right?
I mean,
okay, we're suckers.
We're total suckers.
I mean, they're really good.
They're good. Actually, I Instagram them. Like, I have to say, I'm darning. I'm like, oh my God, I felt like I was having a luxury sewing in experience. Like they
You're
were
actually enjoying the process of sewing in. I just want to say we didn't just buy them because of the packaging, because they looked good. They actually are really
They are. And they had so many varieties. We had Amelia and Françoise on. Okay, you guys, while we were doing the kits, we're like, figure out what tapestry needles we need. So this is number 13, so they're 2 jumbo. Yeah. And then this one here has 3 sizes. They have numbers. So it has 4 different sizes, numbers 17, 18, 20, and 23. But I mean, if you get the 2 of these, you kind of get everything you need for chunkier knits, and this is for everything worsted and down.
Yeah. And then we also got these little portable tapestry needle kits, which carry. So they're 2 sizes, right, Lise? So these are the chunkier ones, the bigger ones. Or do I me see?
Yeah.
Yeah. These are the bigger ones. Oh, I should show them like this.
The case is magnetic.
Yeah, so you actually take it out of the cellophane and then you'll insert them in here, and the little case has a little magnet to keep it closed. So that's actually great for your notions pouch.
Yes. So that's and I always sew in my ends with a bent tip.
Yeah,
these are straight tips.
Yeah,
but I have to say I might be convinced now to go back into.
But you were using these ones, right?
Yeah, I was exactly for my last thing, and I have to say I really loved it.
Okay.
So that's
and you didn't miss the bent tip.
I did not miss the bent tip because I was like so enamored by the heft and the beauty of these ones. So so that's our little tulip grab that we got from TNNA. Here,
what else is it?
So now why don't you talk about the Lykkie needles?
Okay, so the Lykkie interchangeable sets. Now I know we're not saying it right. I know it should be Lykkie. But we've been saying Lykkie for so long now that it's hard to remember. The appropriate pronunciation, I believe, is Lykkie. Anyway, so we've been carrying the interchangeable kits in both the, this is sort of the faux denim, and there was a faux leather case. So we've had those for a while. And then, I think in the summer.
I think so, because we were away when they came in.
Yes. Lykkie has released the 3.5 inch tip. So the basically is set with the shorter tips. So these are great for small circumference knitting. I mean, again, for people who have smaller hands or don't mind having that shorter needle, you can use this kit for anything. But it's great for people who do a lot of small circumference knitting, like cowls and hats and things in the round, baby things. And if you need to get down to your 16 inches, this kit's going to be what you need, and it comes in a nice little kit. I think we only have the faux denim.
I think so. Yeah.
Cases for those, and then
there.
Okay.
So this is interesting too, because people, since we've opened this store, have always asked us for DPN kits, and the only DPN kits we've managed to find are always for sock sizes.
Yeah.
And then we did find a Knitter's Pride bamboo for larger sizes, but it was an incomplete set. And then finally, so we were just telling people, you just have to buy them separately and then get a case.
Yeah.
But then Lykkie finally came out with a DPN 2-size kit.
Right. So this one, I was just looking to see what sizes. This is the larger set, and then this one is the smaller set. So they're all 6 inches, and what's fabulous about them is that, just like with their needles, they have this little metal band around them with the size of the needle engraved on it. So, you never have to worry about the size of the needle being rubbed off if it's printed on. I was a little concerned, actually, when we first got them, whether or not you would feel that when you were knitting, but you really don't.
You know what? I don't even think I'd feel that. That's pretty.
I know, and you're sensitive.
I'm the princess.
You're the princess in the pea. Exactly.
So this is the smaller kit.
Yeah,
so these are the sock
sizes. US 0 through 5, which is 2 millimeter to
3.75.
And then this one is.
So now you can be a sexy sock knitter, just like a sexy circular knitter. This one must be 4 millimeter.
Yeah.
To
9. No, it's to 9 millimeter.
9 millimeter. So it's pretty comprehensive.
Yeah. If you buy the 2 sets, you've got everything.
So for all of you who wanted a DPN kit, they have finally arrived.
Yeah, and what's nice is, a lot of people are knit with smaller yarn, and then others prefer the chunkier. So it's great that you don't need to buy both kits, that they haven't put them all in one.
Yeah, that they separated. Yes.
Yeah.
It's very smart.
But if you're like us and you want to have everything,
and
whether you need it or not, it's not terrible.
So we're trying to be more reasonable, though, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. We're being good. We're being good.
So to jump on that bandwagon, we also have the Jezebel DPN kit. Some people might have seen that. I Instagram this.
Now these are just for storage. They're not actual. They don't come with the needles.
No, exactly. So here we go.
Are these all one size here, these ones?
No, those are 2 sizes.
Oh, okay.
So here we are with our Jezebel DPN kit. So just
you should have showed it closed. Well, you'll close it up again.
And here there's a Velcro pocket. There are 2 Velcro pockets. So what I have in here is actually, what did I put in here? I think I put more needles, my bigger ones.
Oh yeah, the super big.
So I had a one size that I couldn't fit in because I have every single size, and I also have duplicates. This is 10 millimeter. So my 10 millimeter 7 inch fit right in here.
Okay.
So I put those in here, and a gauge ruler. Because, some of them rub off, the numbers rub off, so the gauge ruler allows me to know what they are. So it's really beautiful with this leather strap, and she also made a case for circular needles.
Yeah, just in case you haven't tuned into our podcast before, or you're not familiar with Jezebel B. Jezebel is a local artisan as well who creates the most incredible, how would you describe that bag, the sling bag? You have one, don't you?
Yeah, I have one right
here.
Just
to show an example of how it sort of sits on your arm. That's yours, right? So
this
it's
is
a great
the
bag.
big size.
Yeah, so you can just kind of, this is a big size. I mean, she has medium and small. So these are just great project bags that you can actually knit while you have them balanced on your arm.
Yep.
And so she's developed some notions pouches and now and some needle organizers. So this one and her fixed circular case are her newest.
Yeah, and they're quite big because we developed them with her because she had the interchangeable kit before.
Yeah.
And we said, it would be so fabulous if we could have a kit where we could store all of our DPNs, because a lot of us have a lot of DPNs or a lot of fixed circulars, and I found the cases we had before we can never fit the whole collection. Now we can fit the whole.
Everything.
Melissa has the circular, and you have all your circulars. I have
all my fixed circulars
in one spot.
Yeah.
So now I have
and by fixed circulars actually, so because I have interchangeable needle kits, but I didn't have the 16-inch, though I have full sets of 16-inch and 12-inch. For all my sleeve knitting and my small circumference knitting. So and of course I filled the entire thing.
Yeah.
But it's just so amazing
and
how
flat.
it actually it's full and it folds up flat without. I find that in cases that I've had before, I fill them up and then I can never close them properly.
Yes.
So this one just looks so nice. It lies nice in your drawer. I have my
I have bins
drawer.
Actually, and then I have all my cases, and they're just so accessible. Yeah. And it also comes in denim. And some people, hesitate because of the Velcro. And at first, us too, we're like, oh, we're not such fans of Velcro. But you know what? The Velcro allows it to really stay shut properly rather than having a tie. And also Jezebel's philosophy, she has a bit of a Japanese aesthetic where she likes things to fold things and make things work on their own.
Like she little origami.
Yes, and she didn't want hardware. So it's a compromise. Like if you don't want hardware but you want it to stick, she decided to go with the Velcro, and we support her. We think it's good. Yeah. So we're all out of the circular cases, but we've just placed an order, so we'll be getting some of those and her interchangeable cases.
Yeah, and then we have her everything kit, which she calls her interchangeable her everything kit because you can also put fixed circulars and DPNs in there as well. It's however you want to use it.
And it's smaller.
Yeah.
So if you want to use it for traveling or you want to have like a little bit of everything, then you can use that. Yeah. Except for straights. That would be the only thing. And then this is a little limited edition print that she created. She's very neutral like us, right? Denims and grays, and then
so this is so fun because it is just a neutral gray denim on the inside with the leopard print on the outside. And actually, I don't know if I risk doing it on camera, but it's fully reversible.
Yes.
So if you just want your
actually, I did reverse it the other day.
Did you?
Yeah. And it
if you just want your leopard print to just be a little peekaboo on the inside, then what do they say? Sort of like business on the front, party in the back. It'll be like business on the outside, party on the inside.
So that's really fun too, because you have your little sneak peek, which is so they're reversible in that way.
Yeah.
And then that's what she also did with her notions cases, is that she has it on the inside. Yeah. With the little ones and this size, the larger notions case.
So we actually have these in. This is the medium, right, Lise?
Is it the medium or the large? I think is the label on here. I keep forgetting. We have them in the mini, the small, the medium, and the large. Yes, that's a medium. You're right.
Yeah, I think that's medium.
And then mine is extra large.
Yeah, and then the notions cases in the large and the small as well, right?
With the little peak. So that's sort of what's new from Jezebel, and she's working on some other projects. So that's exciting for us.
This seems to be a lot of products. We should have talked about our knitting at the beginning.
I know. So maybe we could just quickly do the Buku.
It's just so exciting the fall for us.
I know, because
sorry
it's fun.
if this is all just too much stuff, you guys, but it's we just want to talk about all the fun stuff that's just come in. Maybe we should put a timestamp if you're just interested in hearing about the knitting. Skip forward to
where we are. So we're almost done with our little products.
With our products, yeah. So this was we got restocked on all of our favorite Buku products, I think. So our box totes are fully stocked right now, and pouches. We have our sort of large and medium sized pouches, but then this was a new one that Aruna at Buku developed this year, and it's called the wedge pouch. And so it's a little bit like the medium pouch, but the gusset is wider, so it really sits nicely. Shorter. It's a little bit shorter, and it sits perfectly on a table, and it's just so great.
I'm a big fan of that, because I like to have my pouch. That's why I like Jezebel's pouch, because it opens
and so just have all your notions, whatever you have in there, even a little sock project. I'll fit in here, a ball of yarn and it just sits
needles. Flat. Yeah. So that's great. But the flat ones are good too, and I use it as the flat one, the medium one, as my catch-all in my purse.
Oh, yeah.
For like, you know, my feminine hygiene products, my lip balm.
Yeah, we don't have to use these for knitting stuff, you guys. This is like organize your life, right?
This is my, yeah, exactly. So that's for notions, and the other one is for...
So I love this gold triangle print.
Yeah, me too.
I have a lot of the black triangle print, but I do like the gold triangle print. And then, of course, the knit stitch. This is called Pepita, and this is called Light Veld.
Yeah, we have a dark veld with gold too, which is a bit more bold.
So those are fun.
Which would match perfectly with Jezebel's cheetah print.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like a whole party disco thing happening. Right? Studio 54. So, and then we this is a new little, I want to say program or class that was developed by Michelle Hunter with Skassel Knitting, and it's called Building with Lace, and it's really, it follows their building with color and building blocks series that Michelle did, where it's a great way to learn lace, but you make a shawl at the same time. So we're going to be offering a course. Françoise is going to be doing that as a course.
So that's actually 3 different shawls. The shawl knit in 3 different colors. So because I was a bit confused at first, I thought maybe that was all part of the same one. So, but it's all knit in one.
Yeah, one after another.
So it's like a wide panel, and then each panel is a little bit different.
So it's a great way. And she has accompanying videos, great explanation. So it's an amazing way if you've never done lace, or you have done lace and you want to try different patterns. And there's even knitting with beads, so you can incorporate that as well.
And that's one of the sections incorporates knitting with beads. And so it's a great skill builder.
It is. So some people we have 3 of the books, like I said, the building in color, the building blocks, and this one. So some people take the class and some people just do it on their own. Right. For the beads, there's a couple of great bead shops online that you can get. We don't sell beads at our store because that's a whole nother realm that we haven't gotten into yet. But I know there's Bead FX is one of them, and there's another one as well in Ottawa, which escapes me at the moment. Okay. But there's some good bead stores you can get your beads online. And
if you know some links, Lisa, I'll include them in the show notes.
Exactly. Yeah? Well, what I did was I did a little handout because I got into beads this summer. I knit myself a linen, the Dangling Conversation, and I decided to add beads to it as per the pattern. It was my first time, and I'm like, oh my, all these things. It's like you said, color work, right? These things where you're, I'm like scared to do it,
and you haven't tried it for all these years, and then you do it, and you're like,
oh, it's not that complicated.
It's not that complicated.
So
we're just like all you guys,
yes,
right?
The same.
We are still learning.
We are, and it's kind of fun that when we learn new things, we still get excited about it. And then we've pretty much done a lot of the same things, but then I was like, you haven't done color work? I can't believe you haven't done it. Oh, you haven't done this yet? I can't believe it. So it's kind of fun.
8 years now.
I know, so long, so long. So those are the
so is that
building
all
with
our
lace
products? So do you want to talk about those after we talk about knitting?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Finished objects.
Okay.
So, I talked about my Sunshine Coast already by Heidi Kermeyer.
Okay.
Who we love in the Espace Tricot Petit Lin. And I did the Ligne Orange line. J'ai osé de mettre de la couleur because normally I'm very black and gray.
Yeah, I know. You did a really good job.
But for summer, I have to say, I like a little bit of color in the summer. So this color tends to look good on me. So I went for it. I had staff approval.
I'm stepping on stuff.
Buku. Okay. Oh, that's another thing for us when we have to decide what we have to knit. We are like our worst customers.
Okay, so I think my only finished object, it's kind of sad. Is it really my only finished object since May?
Is that finished?
No.
Okay.
That's a work in progress.
I think it is, madame. It's okay.
That's really sad.
It's okay.
It's okay.
You
anyway,
were living
I think
the life
I had
of leisure.
That's right. I was just traveling and drinking wine. All right, so this was my lumpy space. This is Stephen West. I think I had just started it in our last podcast.
I think so.
I think
you had done
and I had the black and maybe just the lump.
Oh yeah, because you were then upset that you had to knit the second part.
Oh yeah, exactly. Because you have to do two.
It's I mean the colors. It's interesting because it's still in neutral, but there's this color.
Yeah, because it has that really pheasant from Hedgehog. Yeah. So this was knit with Hedgehog Fibers skinny singles in the pheasant, stone, and what is her dark one? Is it onyx or charcoal or? Anyway, it'll be in the
whatever
notes.
Looks like black or charcoal.
Yeah, it'll be in the notes. Anyway, I love knitting it because I love knitting.
The colors just suits you so well, Melissa.
Thank you.
It's all perfect
Stephen
pink.
West. All Stephen West patterns.
And if those of you saw her pink shoes, they kind of go perfectly with
they go with my
shoes.
pink shoes. So this was fun. I mean, like all Stephen West patterns,
fun.
It's fun from beginning to end. It's engaging. I'm actually considering doing the mystery knit along that starts at the end of the month.
Yes, you mentioned that.
Are you?
I'm not a fan of mystery. I don't like surprises. I like to know what I'm getting myself into. I like to have it all laid out. Melissa's more of a spontaneous.
No, I mean I'm like that too. However,
I feel you do
like
have a little bit more like spontaneity than me. I'm the one who's like organized, planner, agenda, notes. It's like perfect notes, everything's on it. And then I'm like, oh, I didn't put this in the notes. Oh, I'm gonna have to add it to the notes after the fact.
Like, don't worry, I'll remember.
So you might do that. I've done one mystery knit along.
I might do. Well, the one that we did together was his exploration station, and we loved that one.
Yeah,
you actually did that one.
I did, and I actually stuck to the time frame and one a week. But
there's so many things we want to knit. That's the problem.
Too many things right now on my plate.
Anyway, I love knitting this. I love the yarn. I think that we had ordered a lot. We had ordered a lot of all of these colors, and of course they sold out pretty quickly. I think we have Pheasant Stone. I'm not sure if we have the darker one, but we have a big order pending, so they will be restocked. And you can always substitute any other.
Exactly. We have so many fingering weight yarns now that it's so great. You take a speckle from this, a solid from this.
Exactly.
And, what's happening now is that with the proliferation of podcasters and Instagram, is the hand dyers are having a hard time keeping up.
Yeah.
So
then, if we order yarn, it can take 2-3 months to be able to get it, and then by then it's like people have had to look for something else.
And also we sort of have this, you see it, you want it right away. That's kind of the society we're living in now, but unfortunately with hand dyeing and things made by hand, it's not
slow. It's slow.
Yeah, we have to kind of learn to sort of
good, though.
Patience and wait.
Just to say about this one, while I remember.
Yeah, you talk about
this
to get something.
Well, I don't have much to say, Lisa. Don't go too long. This is originally a 4-color scarf, and I opted to do it in 3, and I had more than enough yarn to do it with 3. I'm not exactly sure what I did differently in terms of, I think what they did was they used 2 colors here, he used 2 different colors here, whereas I repeated the stone all the way through and just changed the black for the pheasant color. So, but there was more than enough, and then I still had enough to do the picot edge bind off in the dark color. What are you looking for?
My dangling conversations.
Okay, while you're talking about when I can look for it.
Okay, so I'm going to. So one of the things we struggle with also is the fact that we travel and we buy yarns abroad, and then we knit with them, and then they're not available in the store. And does that make smart business sense? So as you can see, Melissa and I, we are smart business women, but we're also honest business women and honest knitters. So I made this. Some of you might have followed one. So this is actually called, let me see, my Stormy Sky Shawl by Life is Cozy. And it's done in a wool. And I decided to do it. I mean, I have to say that I find it's very hard to get a good image of it on photographs or on video.
The Instagram one you posted.
Yeah, I was pretty proud of myself. I did a good job on that one. So I don't even have the pattern here. So this is a Lang. It's called Philo by Lang. And it's a cotton with a bit of synthetic in it. And I don't know if you can get it's kind of ropey. It's very shiny and ropey and a little bit slick. And a little slippery to knit with. And we had debated whether we should bring it in. It would be good for fringes, and we weren't too sure. And then when I was on my trip, I was in a little yarn shop in Germany, and I saw it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy it. I'm gonna knit something with it, and I'm gonna see if we like it. Because sometimes we actually have to knit with something to see if we like it and want to bring it in. And so I decided that I was gonna take this shawl because in the winter when I go out and I have a black dress, and oftentimes I have like a black blazer or a sweater, I like the idea of like a scarf, a black scarf, but something dressy. I don't want anything woolly. So something more towards the silks or the linen or cotton. And so I thought this phyllo would be perfect for that. So I'm just going to show you, and I decided to add a fringe. The original pattern called for tassels, but I went back and forth with Melissa, and she's my sounding board, and we decided that a fringe would look good. So you might want to look at Instagram to get a better image of this one, but it is a triangle, and I decided to do the fringe on both sides. This side was a bit harder to do the fringe because of the different shapes, the different stitch patterns, so my fringe wasn't as even as the cast on, which is like a like really nice and even. So it's very dressy, it's cool, it's very swishy and elegant, and I'm going to have a lot of fun with that. So Philo is a yarn that we might bring in next summer, but if this pattern interests you, you can check Life is Cozy and see what different yarns she's used for this one. And it's a fun one.
I can't find it.
Yeah, I don't know. It must be somewhere. So I finished the Dangling Conversations.
And that's the one you did the beading on,
And I
right?
did the beading on. I had Instagrammed it a while ago, so that was just a fun summer one as well that I knit, which was in the linen. So,
so
those
works
are
in progress?
Yes. So works, you go ahead.
Okay, so, well, as we mentioned at the beginning of the pocket when we were talking about kits, Lisa and I are both, you have yours, Lisa?
Yes, I do.
We'll do a joint reveal. How's that?
You know, we have said since we were friends,
yeah.
we've always said, you're going to knit that? I'm going to knit that too. But we never have.
We never have.
And now we have.
Or not at the same time, at least, right?
Right, exactly. And now we're
actually knitting simultaneously.
And you think we're going to wear them? We're going to look ridiculous.
We are going to wear them. Do you guys challenge us, dare us to wear matching sweaters
with our matching fry boots and jeans?
Yeah, so people
and MO851 bags.
Because we're same but different.
Same but different.
Okay, so Lisa, here's mine.
Voila.
Here's your body. So I steamed mine, of course, because that's the difference between Lisa and I.
It's like bad luck. I don't know. I feel like it's bad luck.
I know. It's like finding out the sex of your baby or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
I didn't know my sex.
Right? And I wanted to. And
Here we go. But you...
So... See, I want. Yeah, it's another story. Okay, so
yours is prettier than mine, but mine will be pretty.
That's what yours will look like when it's been a little bit blocked, steamed, just a light steam. And then Lisa and I both start. You're ahead of me on the sleeves.
I am.
But you guys, if you've never done color work,
it's peasy.
It's 2 colors. It's easy. The chart is so simple. And it's going to be, I'm so excited for this sweater, Lise.
I know,
I mean, what if it doesn't look good on?
Well, that's another bridge to cross. It might be our last sweater then if it doesn't look good.
If we're not wearing these at Rhinebeck, then
you'll know why. Maybe I'll wear it around my neck like the French. So when I was in Europe, I saw that,
Oh, yeah, just tie it there.
It'll be an accessory.
So it is Lopi, and it is...
It's Let Lopi, right?
Let Lopi, yeah, which is a worsted weight. And it is... I would say it's, it has its reputation.
It's scratchy.
It has its reputation for being scratchy. But feel this, now that it's been...
I actually had the sweater on. Remember? I put the sweater on.
And it didn't feel terrible, did it?
No, it was... it was good. It was very hot.
Well,
it's
right.
very
it's
warm, so it better be cold at Rhinebeck.
Yeah.
But it's also a sweater. I had a sundress on and I tried it. And I was like, I could do this.
Yeah.
I felt the scratch. And I wouldn't say that I am a sensitive person.
Yeah.
But I think
I'm more sensitive to pick than scratch.
Yeah, I agree.
If it's a little bit rough or scratchy, that doesn't bother me at all. What I don't like is sometimes, if you don't have a baby alpaca or something where the guard hairs have been removed, the pick of alpaca is a little harder for me than feeling a little bit of scratch. Yeah. So, and I find that because I've steamed mine, I found that as soon as I steamed it softens quite a bit. So,
and you'll be wearing like a long sleeve t-shirt under this anyways.
Yeah, this isn't something you put on right against your skin.
And there is a cowl neck, but it's quite loose.
Yeah, so it's not right up.
Right, but if you don't like that, you don't even have to do that, right?
Did we?
I have the pattern
picture, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then this is a little, I've talked about this tool before. It's this little magnetic board with a little stand. I mean, like I said, it's not the sexiest of tools, but it's this little board. Thank you. And what I like to do is I like to put it in a sleeve so that it stays, it's crinkled because I didn't have it in this at the beginning because I wasn't doing color work. And then what I like is that I have the pattern on both sides. So I had my chart on here, but then I had what I had to do for my sleeve on this side. And so and then there's the magnet that you move up.
Yeah, so this is the chart for the sleeve.
Yeah.
And it's just across, five or six stitches each one.
And you do it, I think it's 2, 4, 5. And then it's like 55 rows. It goes quite fast. So I have to say, I like my little setup here, that I have it set up like this. And it just makes it so much easier to follow. And then I just put my magnet there. So I really like this little board. I have to say, we got it before we opened the store. We had these.
Yeah.
I bought it.
Because you sit at the table when you knit, right?
Yeah, I sit at the table, and sometimes people just they don't put it on the stand. They just have it next to them on the couch. But I have a little table propped up because that's the way I roll. So and this is my little Jezebel. This is the biggest size.
The XL, yeah.
Yeah, and that's good because I have it's a big sweater now, and these Cocoa Knit stitch stoppers.
See, mine.
Because this is popping off.
All these tools I don't even have.
Because this is a yarn that pops off because it's stiff.
Yeah.
So I decided to finally, because I'm not a big stitch stopper person, but I love these ones. And I don't know if we told the story, but I was telling this to a customer the other day that Julie developed these from Cocoa Knits because when she would give workshops, she would give everybody earplugs, and she would cut off the tip and poke a little hole and give them to people as stoppers. And she's like,
I should actually make those.
I should actually make them. So that's perfect. So that's our sweater. So we're having fun doing that in our favorite colors, black and white.
Okay. You're going to talk about...
Oh, my quick little parallel. Oh, wait, no. Well, why don't you go? It's right here. Your ranunculus.
Ranunculus.
You hold it, or are you good?
No. Okay, we're good. Okay, so this is my ranunculus. Lise, did you write down who the designer of this was?
I believe I did. Yes. Oh, no. I just wrote... here, let me go check while you talk.
Can you look it up for me? Okay, so I fell in love with this before my trip, and this was I think it took Instagram by storm.
Yes, it did.
At the beginning of the summer.
Even Mona, she knit hers and finished hers already.
I know, but she didn't do sleeves. Everyone who I know who knit it didn't add the sleeves, and I wanted the sleeves. So it is called the Ranunculus by Midori Hirose. Knit Cafe Midori. And so there are lots of different options. You can do it with or without sleeves. You can do different kinds of sleeves. And I opted to do the one with the sleeves, and I loved knitting this. And I chose to do mine in a combination of Manos del Uruguay Merino stranded with Silk Cloud.
Which is a merino lace weight?
Yeah, merino lace weight, and of course the silk and mohair of the Silk Cloud. And I love the fact, because it's quite a loose gauge, but I love the fabric that one created. So
it's interesting because when I look on Ravelry, I see some that are looser and some that are denser. And I have to say, I really like your density that you chose to do.
Well, this is what the pattern actually calls for, but I think some people have just gone up to a thicker yarn, you know? So this one, I think most of my Instagram photos from my trip sort of feature me knitting this one. And then what happened was I got stuck on Sleeve Island, which I also talked about when I got back from my trip, and I was starting to make preparations to move up here, and sleeves were just not
on your radar, even though they're super fast to knit, right?
They're super fast to knit.
It's just a pain.
See, I normally use 12-inch needles. I usually use 12-inch needles, which go really fast for my sleeves. But the problem is that they stop at 5.5 millimeters.
That's what happened to this.
And this is or did they stop at what are these?
No, they stop at 5.5.
Right, and these are 6 millimeters.
Same thing happened with me, which was a pain. I really had to kick myself to do it. You're right, Melissa.
Right, so just that makes a difference. So now I'm doing magic loop, and it's like, it's just not as easy.
Doesn't flow.
Exactly. It's about the flow.
It's like,
so anyway, that one I'm gonna finish that one soon because I'd like to wear it.
Well, yeah, and I mean you're almost there. You can't just leave it dangling.
No, exactly.
So this was one too that I was knitting on my trip. Like, I am a sucker for like a big parallelogram. So this is Jade Sapphire Sylph. I mean, I've kind of knit a lot. Like, it's pretty good.
It is a lot.
But I'm
this was in a lot of your photographs on
exactly.
the trip too.
Because simple easy knits. So and it's
we published a clin d'oeil just before our trip actually, which in which you talk about this shape, this pattern.
Yes, that I love this shape, and I've already done Kigali Nights and wrapped in lino in this shape. Exactly. So it's kind of the same idea, but I wanted it.
Have you modified? Like, are you following the wrapped in lino pattern?
No, I've so far no, because actually, instead of doing short rows, I did an increase.
Okay.
How many ways can you make the same pattern?
So you're going to write this up?
Yeah, I'm going to write this up when I'm done. So what I did was the instead of doing short rows, I just did I increased the stitch every second row as I was going in that direction.
I just wanted to show the yarn because this is your favorite.
It's my favorite yarn, Jade Sapphire Sylph. I can't get enough of this. The linen, the cashmere, the structure, the texture,
the softness.
It's everything. It's like it's passe-partout. It's all season. And I was debating that I might put a I-cord edging in a pop of color. I'll see. how I feel. I might just keep it classic.
No, I feel like it should be classic.
And it is, I'm sorry to say, yes, it's boring, but I just love simple luxury things around my neck. See, too, that's it. That's all.
And you don't care how many miles of stockinette you need to knit to get it.
I'd rather stockinette than garter. Just go. So I've done quite a lot. My wrapped in lino did take me 2 years because I left it.
Didn't take 2 years. Two summers maybe.
2 summers because I didn't do it. But
well, this one you'll finish next summer then.
Yes, it'll be finished for next summer. So that's kind of in my. This is the project bag. It's so funny because I was so not a button person, but then Melissa got me into buttons.
Oh, yeah.
So I've got all my little...
And I don't even think I have any buttons on mine.
So I've got a Shibui one, a Quince one, Ravelry, Sweet Georgia, Espace Tricot, and Mayak. So that just happens. And it's funny because we had... The year before at TNA, I had all these pins. I think I might have gotten rid of them. And I'm like, I should have kept them all.
Exactly.
Okie dokie.
Okay, so I think this is my last work in progress. Actually, I have 2 others that I didn't bring because I don't think I'd made any progress since the last time we met. Mm-hmm. So I'm working on the Hayward by Julie Hoover, and I'm sorry for the poor quality picture, but this is just like an easy pullover knit with the Brooklyn Tweed Loft, and it's loft knit at a
that's a really gauge. Different texture for a loft because I did my smooth move in it, and this in garter, and this feels completely different. Well, I was gonna say this is pebble.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, no, it's just that, it's fingering weight, but it's knit up at a 21 stitch gauge, right? And
it's stockinette versus garter, which will give you a different... Isn't
it nice?
Yeah, now I want.
So anyway, again, I'm on Sleeve Island. It's, so you want to hold that corner for me, Lise? So I've just pinned the tops.
Oh, these are bigger sleeves, though.
Yeah, well, so this is one of my sleeves started. So it's a short cuff. And then I guess it just is going to connect up here somehow. But it's, it's like an extreme dolman or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
It's cool though.
Yeah.
That's kind of the style, these bat kind of wing type things.
So.
But without being poncho-like.
Right.
More sweater-like.
More sweater-like. Yeah. So again, I mean, the sleeve is so tiny, it's fast. I don't know why I'm stuck. I have no excuse for this one.
Because we just have too many projects. We have a life, we have a business, we have all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I cast on other sweaters.
You know what's funny? It's like we're like knitters come in and they're like apologizing for not finishing or having too many whips or too many UFOs.
We're and you don't need to.
I'm
apologize
like, oh my
to
God,
us.
we are all the same. When I'm spinning with my witch yarn and witch for my new project, customers are you have that too. You have that problem too. So that it's like we're all in solidarity. I have my.
So I think that's all for my works in progress, Lise.
So I've resurrected. I've decided that I'm gonna. I've resurrected this. Try to not show all my ends.
Okay.
So I've talked about this one before, but I did resurrect it, and I did actually do a whole row last week. I did a whole.
Across the top.
Yeah, and I don't know which direction I did.
Is it square at this point? Right
no, I think it's
more of a rectangle. Okay. I think
it's this row that I just finished.
So do you know how many squares you've done so far?
I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 13 by 14. Quick math. Please. I've done over 144 because 12 by 12 is 144.
Oh, that was a cop-out.
So there we go. So that's how many I've done. I should get my son on that, who's doing his multiplication tables. So I really fun. Like I
look how beautiful that is.
How could you not love like doing this? It's so much fun.
But I think you said you wanted to do it big. It was going to be like 400 squares.
Yeah. Mine is going to be like twin bed size.
Yeah. So it's time you got to get back into it.
I got to get back into it.
So you started this last winter, right?
Yes, last winter. And I just, once you get into the flow, you can do 1 square. The problem for me, it's not really portable because I have a big basket of Koigu on my dining room table. And then when I just decide as I go. I have all my balls wound up. So if I'm on the go, I might have chosen a ball, but then my mood is different and I don't feel like knitting that color. So this is more when I'm just like at home, hanging out, and I did this on like a Saturday or a Sunday, and I just went at it. So this is back on my radar.
Well, we have lots of, we ordered a lot of Koigu at the trade show this year, and it's all arrived now. So lots of new colors as well as lots of our old favorites. So if this is attractive to you at all, you don't have to use Koigu, of course. You can use any of your fingering weight, mix it with fingering weight yarns you have left over.
Oh, I should mention the name. It's called Knitted Patchwork Recipe, and it's by Martine Ellis. So, I mean, the recipe is good enough that you can make the blanket. It's not like something you have to decipher. The only thing is for this size, you decide if you want it. You can do a cushion cover, you can do a table runner,
right?
You can do a...
Yeah, so if you plan to do a blanket, but then you run out of steam, then you just make it into something else.
A baby blanket, or sometimes, you know, people like to put things just over their chair in their living room.
That's really nice. I mean, even like this with an I-cord edge would be a great baby blanket.
Yeah. And you could do a wall hanging, like it can be anything. So you'd start making it, and then depending how much energy you have left, you decide what you're going to do.
So pretty. It's just so fun.
It is. I have to say, I'm having fun with that. So that's
you have another one?
So I have my Second Avenue. Attends, where's my big thing?
Which is not a work in progress.
So this is the one driving everybody crazy. So
meaning Lisa's Second Avenue is driving everyone crazy.
Exactly, because I was originally going to do it in the veil, and I love the colors that I chose, and I got a lot of nice feedback from Instagram.
Yeah.
But I did a swatch, and it's too thin. So in order for me to get the dimensions, I'll either have to cast on more stitches. And I said, okay, I'm already doing my self-parallelogram, which is a lace weight. Yeah. Do I have it in me to knit another lace weight project right now? No. So my veil is going to be turned into something else. So then I went through my stash, and of course I found some nice things I already had in my stash. I decided that I wanted, originally...
Do you have a picture of the Second Avenue?
Oh, yes, I do, right here, actually.
Just so people know what you're talking about.
Here, do you want to... Yeah. In the back, I think, Melissa, there's a picture of just the scarf. Yeah.
Okay.
So originally I was going to just kind of do it in these sort of tones, like purpley pinks.
Okay, I'll just show the...
Yeah.
So that's...
It's 5 colors.
Yeah. And so, does it start at this end, do you think, with the stripes?
I think
it ends with this one. It ends with that kind of scallopy cast off.
I think so.
Anyway, you're 5 colors, and you just sort of rotate.
Oh, actually, you know what? There's a diagram. You can just... so it starts up here. So, so it starts with the scallopy. I think you just have to angle. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
There we go. So, and then
they both have a bit of a scalloped edge. Yeah. Okay.
So I was like, originally I was going to stay, but then I'm like, oh, it's kind of dull. I need something to pop it up. So
so these were the 3 from your stash?
Yeah, and then I have this
this is really nice from together, actually.
This is Molly Girl that I bought when we went to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So I had woolen. So I started doing this. Yeah. So I started doing this, which it was just like a little. I was basing this off the Ataka from Stephen West,
pretty.
And this is pretty. So I'm like, oh, okay, do I frog this and use this yarn? But I have 2 more balls.
Do you know the name of this yarn?
This is the Molly. It's Molly Girl.
But do you know the color name? I mean.
Oh, it's specially for woolen.
It is specially.
It's something.
For woolen,
oh, here it is. It's called exclusive color. No Sleep Till Brooklyn.
No Sleep Till Brooklyn.
I love this color.
So
I jumped all over it.
If you love this color, then
woolen.
Find it at Woolen in Brooklyn.
It's an exclusive to her. So I might either frog this and use this, or just take another skein. So okay. So now I have this. Now this is So these are Julie Asselin. So these are 3 Julie Asselin Fino.
Is this Romance or Jardin des Tuileries?
Jardin des Tuileries.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is Julie Asselin. This is Molly Girl. This is a Malabrigo sock that I've had forever. Then I'm like, oh, there's a...
This looks like Pashmina, Lise.
No, it's not. It's Johnny.
Oh, okay.
It's Johnny by... This I bought before we had the store.
Oh, my God.
At another yarn store.
So that's like 8 years old.
Yeah, so this is 8 years old.
Okay.
So then, and then I have this Julie Asselin, which is Concord, which is a disabled, discontinued color. And so I'm like, okay, so now I'm all in my purpley. Yeah. So then I showed this, and Chloe's like, oh, it's just too purpley.
Too dark.
Too dark. So I have like all of this. So
also, there's no difference really between this and
well, this is more charcoal, that's more purple.
Okay.
So I've got all this in my stash. Chloe's like, you need some color. So then I pull out these 3. This is a Manos Fino, and this is a Artfil Bell confetti, and this is an Artfil Bell in White Sands. So I'm like, okay, so now I've got all these to choose from, but it only takes 5 colors.
So you got to narrow it down.
So I have to say I'm very happy with all of this. So what I'm going to do is I might even do more than 5 colors. So I might
make it longer?
No, but like instead of repeating a color, then I might introduce a new one. I don't know.
Like in the stripe, instead of doing a 2-color stripe, do you like incorporate a third? Or
or because there's 2 parts where you use the same color like in 2 sections. So maybe I'll use a different color in the other section.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So this is kind of going to be, I decided, like my scarfy thing.
Where you just pick your color as you go?
As I go. So this is going to be my base. I'm going to pick my first color, and then I'm going to be inspired through this.
Okay.
But what I find hilarious is I'm trying to destash, like all of you. And of course, I need 3 new skeins to go with my destashing. So it's ridiculous, eh?
You can only destash by buying new yarn.
Yes. It's a racket. Like my father would say, it's a racket. It's a racket. So anyway, so that's kind of my in progress.
Well,
in progress in my brain.
I say it's in progress if you cast it on.
Okay, next podcast it'll be passed on. Cast it on. So that's my in progress.
I'm looking at the wrong lists here.
Oh, here we have. Okay. So here's this.
All right. So so is that all for our works in progress now?
Yes, it is.
Should we talk about new Espace Tricot patterns?
Yes.
Or okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So why don't
do you want to talk about Au Chalet?
Okay. So Au Chalet.
So this is something that Lisa designed last year. Like at the end of.
Yeah,
put it this way, it was finished as soon as warm weather hit, so we decided to wait until now to talk about it.
Yes. So I had this idea that I really like knitting blankets. Melissa's gotten into sweaters. I like blankets and shawls. So I had this idea that I wanted a cable blanket, but I wanted a chunky cable blanket, and I wanted something that was reminding me of a sweater.
Yeah.
So something like a really cozy sweater, but in blanket form. And I Tin Can Knits has, their flax sweater, and on the sleeve they have a garter. So I said I kind of like that idea of incorporating a garter with a chunky cable, and then at the bottom having a rib like the cuff of a sweater.
Yeah.
So that was sort of my idea for this blanket. So I was all gung-ho. We had gotten the pure wool worsted. I chose my color.
It's a Rowan yarn, by the way.
Yes. Yeah. And Mona helped me. So I explained to Mona kind of what I wanted and the size of the cable and the directions I wanted. So we worked together to create a chart. So she created a little chart for me. I did a sample. We kind of modified it a little bit. And then away I went with the knitting. So I'm going. I'm all excited. It's very basic. It's like a 2-row repeat. After you've done the border, it's a 2-row repeat.
With your cable, though. The cable is not a 2-row repeat.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
But
I'm saying a 2-row repeat, but the cables are kind of, it's not a complicated pattern. It's like a 21-row repeat. So then,
truth be told,
Jesus, but it just felt like simple because it's very repetitive, is what I'm saying over all these balls of yarn. So I'm knitting, and then after about 30% of knitting, I kind of put it away,
putter out,
and Melissa's like, "So that Au Chalet blanket, where's it going? Where's it doing?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah."
I'm like, "Why don't you get somebody else to finish it?"
I'm like, "Oh, but I really want to knit it. It's like my pattern, my idea. It's nice. I want to knit it." She's like, "Okay." So then I knit
and then a year went by.
I knit maybe 2 more inches. And then I'm like, "Amalia, I need your backup. I need your help." So Amalia took it and she finished the knitting for me.
Yay.
Hence, we have our finished Au Chalet blanket.
I know. It would still not be finished if it weren't for
It would still not be finished. So I'm grateful. And Amelia is like a master of cable. So with Mona's help for the pattern and Amelia's help with the knitting, it was a team effort at Espace Tricot.
So this uses 17 balls of the Rowan pure wool worsted, right, Lise?
Yes,
which is a superwash
worsted
wool on a 5mm needle. And as you say, it's a very straightforward pattern. It's a great pattern to sort of start in the fall and just work on all winter, right?
It's nice because it's cozy. You're putting on you as you're knitting.
Exactly. And it's growing, and it's really nice. I want to wrap myself in it.
And we decided to call it Au Chalet because it's the idea of it's like the cottage blanket, a nice sweater cottage blanket. So that's really
après-ski.
Exactly. So that's a new Espace Tricot pattern available in English and French.
English and French. It has been posted to Ravelry. It's also available on our blog.
Yes. Okay, perfect. So then we'll talk about our
still recording.
So,
when Mona finished knitting this for us, we thought, it'd be really nice if we could sort of just take this little pattern.
Oh my goodness, Melissa. It starts at size 0 to 3 months.
Yeah.
It goes all the way to 8, 9 years old.
Yeah, I thought so.
That's great.
Okay. So we thought that we really like this little fur
design
pattern. This looks like little pine trees, right? So we asked Mona, because we were getting the Artfil Aran weight yarn that was coming in, we asked Mona to take that stitch motif and develop it a little bit further for us into a baby blanket.
Because we had the idea of doing like a layette.
Yes, exactly.
And because the blanket is in Aran, it's a little bit quicker to knit. The sweater is done in the DK, so Artfil Americana DK, and then Artfil Aran.
Exactly. And so Mona designed that for us, and this is it's all ready to go. I just need to post it to Ravelry, and it should be posted by the time this podcast is live. So
And do we have it in French as well?
Yes, it is also in English and French. And then this is done with the DK as well, right?
Yes.
So then Mona decided to take it one step further and design a little coordinating bonnet as well. I don't know if that's...
I mean, the bonnets are a very old-fashioned.
They are old-fashioned,
and they're
so sweet.
They're so sweet, and we find that people are kind of coming back to that look rather than a little hat, like a cute little bonnet. So we thought
there
we'd
was
go
something
there.
I'm going to go and get that. The I-cord.
I can go.
You want to get it?
Yeah.
So the I-cord that is used to create the tie for the bonnet, you can of course knit that by hand, and I-cords actually don't take that long to do, but they can be a little bit time consuming. But one of the things that we purchased from Tulip when we placed our order at the trade show was an I-cord making machine. And this I-cord took about 30 seconds. So Amalia bought one because she's obsessed with this little machine now. It's called the I-cord knitter. So if you have need or interest, no, this one's not up yet, but I will get it up. In creating a lot of I-cord, I mean, you can use I-cord for so many different things, right? For edgings, for
like if you have a dress and you put
to make little ties,
or like capes for kids. You know how many I-cords I made for Gianluca's capes when he was small to tie his capes.
To tie his capes. Anyway, so it literally, I mean, you thread it and then you crank it, and your I-cord, and it has a little weight that pulls your I-cord out, and within a few seconds you have whatever length I-cord you want. So we ordered a few of those for the store, and I think.
And the I-cords too are great, like for kids. Like I've done flowers, I've done snakes, little
then you can
animals.
Use things that kids can make little things with them. Exactly. So anyway, this is a free pattern. This one we're just waiting for the translation, I think, and the finalizing and the translation. But this one is available. So this one is called Petit Pain, which is little pines.
Yeah, little pine
trees. And this one is just Petit Pain Bonnet. So
we sort of went on the Norwegian fur, and then we French.
A little nod to the sweater that inspired it. So we're running a workshop in our class schedule. I think it's in October, if I'm not mistaken. A 3-hour workshop, just if people want to get started on this baby blanket. But once you've done sort of the first sections, there's really you don't need help. It's the same all the way through. So we thought we'd run a 3-hour workshop to get people started on the blanket if they're interested, but want a little bit of support. So that's one of the options for the classes. And then we're also running a class on the Norwegian fur sweater as well as the bonnet, and that one's actually a 3-week class, so 6 hours.
And all the information for our classes is
online
on our website. So
and actually, Lise, did we mention that Au Chalet is also being offered as a class?
Oh yes, you're right. That's a class as well. So that's it for our Espace Tricot patterns that have been in the works for a little bit. So we try to vary our patterns between scarves and sweaters and blankets and baby accessories. So so that's been fun to do. And we have 3 store samples that are also up and ready to go.
Lise, what are they?
The Trimont Snood, which I thought I remember. Oh, it's right here, Melissa.
Okay, so this is a Trimont Snood. This one was done, I don't know if some of you might remember that I knit this one up with Julie Asselin, DK, her... It's Lezu DK, right?
Yeah, Lezu DK. And you did some mods.
And I had done some mods because that was a thinner yarn. But this one is done in the yarn that the pattern originally called for. It's a cute little capelet. And it is knit up with Blue Sky Fibers wool stock yarn. Or you mean Little Foxes. And this one, I don't know what the name of the...
Oh, the designer?
No, I just wanted to... So it's done... It's a quick knit because it's knit on an 8mm needle with wool stock yarn. It's looser. It's a worsted weight yarn, but it's knit at a loose gauge.
And this is nice because oftentimes in the fall, I'll have my my all-weather coat, my trench coat, and I'll put this on top.
Over top.
So I like the idea of having it over top a trench coat or a sweater.
You know, and it's a nice little sort of transitional piece too. So
and some people throw it over their head too, like
you can
in the elements.
So that's a great little store sample. Well, this one was knit the end of last year. Or the end of last season, I guess, before the summer. And this is called the Morse Cowl. It's a Brooklyn Tweed pattern. Is it Jared Flood who designed it?
No, it's Michelle Wong.
Oh, Michelle Wong. Okay, so this is knit with Brooklyn Tweed Shelter. We actually had someone knit this for us, and she did a beautiful job. And it's just two color. Or now that I've done color work, this is like I
it's
could
only
totally
two colors.
whip this up. Exactly. So this is a great cowl.
I think actually was it Christine who knit both of those for us?
Yeah, Christine.
The Castelbajac. She actually has a Brooklyn Tweed pattern. We profiled her a little while ago in one of her patterns, and so she knit the Morse Cowl, and she also knit the Tri-Monsoon for us. So this is Chloe who knit this for us.
This is a beautiful scarf. This is knit with Cascade Magnum, and this is a pattern. Is it by
It's by Jane Richmond.
It's by Jane Richmond. So this is from the Within book by Jane and Shannon that came out last year. And this is called the Entwined Scarf, and I think it's just 2 skeins. Yes, it's 2 skeins of Magnum, and this is in the Honey Birch colorway, which is the color that's actually featured in the pattern book. It's so
you can get the pattern in the book, or you can also just buy the pattern on Ravelry by Jane Richmond.
That is so cozy.
You know what? There's something. I mean, again, there's something very modern about the stitch. The stitch pattern.
How do they manage that?
I think that's like a slip stitch. I mean, I don't know about the pattern, but there's something very modern about this scarf.
I love it, and it's soft. And I think Magnum knit at a looser gauge feels quite different than Magnum densely.
Yeah, I mean, and with all yarns, right? Yeah. It's like that loft. When I touched that loft, how much softer it was than when I did it at a tighter gauge. You know, so that's
anyway. So 2 skeins, and it's just gorgeous. It looks fabulous on, and so I'll get some pictures taken of that.
So that was in the Magnum, but you can also do it in different. We have the Rasta.
Yeah, anything super chunky. The Malintosh ASAP. Yeah.
And we're also getting a new chunky yarn that's coming in. I forget the name, but it's coming in. Something with serendipity. I think we know. Anyway,
it'll be about it when it gets here.
This is like too adorable. So Jocelyn, one of our teachers, knit these. She's the one who also did the little rabbits.
She also designed the Espace Tricot pattern with the linen.
Yes, the Saint Laurent. So these are little foxes, and she's like, she really puts us to shame. Like she writes here, girl fox or boy fox. And then she writes the class. It's going to be a class. So she writes all the details. The designer is Julie Williams from Little Con Rabbits. It's available on Ravelry, exactly the yardage.
She is all just the yarns here that she used.
She puts us all to shame.
She's this is just like she's just professional. She's got incredible attention to detail. But look at these little sweaters.
I mean, they're just too cute. Like, don't you just want this? But like to knit all these up?
No,
I just want someone to knit it for me.
Yeah.
These are just too adorable.
Do you remember when she did so Jocelyn did the Ellen DeGeneres sweater last year, and she did it in these colors, so this reminded me.
And like the little tails, and it's like the boots, and she goes, I get a good kick out of it, She's just
she did this on her holiday this summer. She did some traveling as well. I mean, look at the little buttons down this sweater.
I mean, she's I had so much fun. She's just one of these positive, glass is always half full type of people. Yeah. So that's it. So our last little thing that we're going to talk about are our little Espace Tricot, the pin. Oh, the sock and goes?
Yeah.
Yes, they're right here. There we go.
Oh, you want to grab the other white one? At least Jessica has the pink zipper.
So Melissa and I, we love bags, and we wanted to get into some Espace Tricot products.
Yeah, and we really love zigzag stitches. Her boxy bags. We've been selling them in the store for years, and so a few months ago we decided to just do a little collaboration with Catherine from Zigzag Stitches, and so we decided to source some fabrics just in straight up denim and canvas, because we love the simplicity of a very plain bag. And then Lisa and I had fun. We had fun picking all our zipper colors, right? We said, wouldn't it be great to just have a solid bag with a pop of color for the zipper, and then a little black and white pull tab ticking.
At first, we're like, we don't need the pull tab on both sides. And then when we got the sample, we're like, there's
wait
a
a minute.
reason you need a pull tab is because you have to hold it to pull the zippers. It's not just decorative.
The things you learn in product development, eh?
And we decided to go for these little, zippers
little round pulls.
And if you want, you can hang some stitch markers off of there or something.
Yeah.
And then inside, we have our little Espace Tricot label. We decided to keep it on the inside to make it a little more discreet for people who didn't like that idea.
Don't necessarily want to advertise this, but we also decided to keep the insides white just to make it easy to find all of your stuff in there. Because we thought about going with pattern or having, something
a matching
darker.
color to the zipper was what we thought. Right. And then some people were like, it'll distract you from your knitting.
You just want to see your knitting and be able to find all your stitch markers, whatever that might be lurking in your bag.
And we have a little pocket. So there's the little pocket. And also we decided to add just a little bit of color. So we included, these are for sale individually, but our little Espace Tricot enamel pins, we decided to get on the bandwagon with our enamel pins. So we had Pauline design the little pin for us.
So when we were designing these pins, I don't know if you're going to be able to see. Maybe not. I can't tell. Yeah, was it good? The only reason I just wanted to say that we went back and forth on whether or not they should be outlined in silver or gold, and Lisa was really, really confident that gold was the way to go, and I was not sure, but when they came, I was like, yes, gold was totally the right
Even
choice.
though we're all about silver.
I know, but gold,
gold kind of is in the zeitgeist now.
Yeah, I just feel like it was it's just totally fun, retro, a little bit disco. So it was good. I mean, it's not really showing up on the screen, but
what we really love about the boxy bags is that you can hold a lot in there. They're really sturdy.
Yeah.
She puts interfacing, so they're really stiff.
Yeah.
And Catherine is an amazing sewer. Like everything lines up.
Yeah.
Everything is perfect. Her attention to detail is amazing. When we have her ones with prints, everything lines up always super well. So we really, and she sent us a few prototypes, sent us pictures.
Because there are lots of these kinds of bags out there, but in terms of the quality and the attention to detail and the sturdiness, we haven't found any that we like as much.
And the reason why we decided to go simple is that's kind of our aesthetic. But we said the zippers are fun with pops of color, and we said you can then put your pins on, because that's kind of what's a la mode right now, right? So you can add all your pins from your little shops, or you can even make up your own little knitting charms and put them on. So that's why we decided to go with that.
I just wanted to show some of the different colors. So there's orange and yellow and green zippers.
And yellow. You have yellow, and we have red
and pink. Oh, okay, we didn't bring a red one over. There's a pink,
and we have two kinds of red. We have green. We have a brighter green, and then we have a darker green.
And then I think we also, with the navy ones, we also have a cream colored zipper, and with the white ones, we also have a navy one for a little bit of a nautical feel.
And what we like too is they're sort of gender neutral, like anybody can use them. So that's what's really nice. And then Catherine,
go ahead.
Yeah, she did this. She had this there. She calls them sock and goes. So they're little cases here, and you can. I don't know. So right here. So this pocket is single, and then this one is split in two. So her idea to do the 6-inch was for DPNs.
Yeah.
So you could put your crochet hook or your DPNs, and they're called sock and go. So you have your DPNs on the go. And then we decided that we like these little ones because I love my pouches. I love to stay organized. And so what's nice about these is you can put your scissors in here.
Yeah, they're great.
And then here you can put
needles.
And your cable needles.
Fixers, your cable needles.
Fixers. So they're all your long sticks are in this area with your scissors. So I'm always...
these are great little things you can have like one in each one of your project bags.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can...
Just with the few things that you need.
And then what we do too is that we take those Cocoa Knits stitch markers, the pins, the locking stitch markers. And so I hook it on here, and then I add a couple of stitch markers
to just dangle.
So they dangle, and I have them here on the fabric.
Yeah.
And we decided not to put any branding because we just decided it would be overpowering. So just to kind of keep it simple.
But they all coordinate with the bags.
We have denim.
The buttons, yes. And we have denim. Oh, yeah, I didn't bring the denim. But we have these in denim as well, and all the buttons coordinate with the zipper colors, which is...
And we have the two sizes. We have the 3.5 inch for your little notions, and then we have the longer ones for crochet hooks and DPNs.
Yeah. So I think that's it. Oh my God, that was a marathon session.
This is a marathon, and I mean, we kind of knew that.
It has been a long time, exactly. So the next podcast won't be nearly as long.
But we're going to keep doing our clin d'oeils, right? We
Yes.
kind of talked about
Yes.
that. So we're going to, we have some different topics that we want to cover. Some that are already recorded that we've decided we might need to re-record.
We might redo the needle one, but I think the blanket one's okay.
Yeah. And I think our goal is, again, we were sort of doing this before the summer holiday, is to do every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Sort of our rhythm of what we'd like to do. And we're going to do a little giveaway, Melissa.
Oh, yeah, their giveaway. Okay, so what did we decide? We decided we were going to give away one of these boxy bags in either the denim or the canvas with your choice of colored zipper, and one of these in your choice of color. And what do we want people to do? We want them to subscribe to our YouTube channel. So hit the little red button that says subscribe. You can also click the bell, which will send you a little notification when we publish or upload the latest podcast.
So if you're subscribed but you haven't clicked on the bell, you won't get a notification? Is that how it works?
I think that's how it works.
Okay, so you have to if you want the notification, you have to click the bell as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So subscribe and then leave us a little comment just telling us what you're most excited about knitting this fall, right? What are you, I mean, I'm all about knitting sweaters right now. I might do the Stephen West Mystery Knit Along. You're all about the Second Avenue. You know, what are you itching to get started? What are you looking forward to knitting most? Just let us know, because it's always nice for us to get a sense of where people are at. Are they knitting socks? Are they still knitting summer stuff? Are they ready to dig into full winter?
Yeah.
Is it blankets? Is it shawls? Is it sweaters? What are people interested in? So so let us know, and subscribe, and then we will do, I guess, some sort of random
number generator as
trust
all YouTubers
us.
do.
We will. All we will do is look at your comment, make sure that you're subscribed in some capacity, and then do some sort of random selection.
So thanks so much for sticking with us through this back to school, back to knitting season podcast. And that's it. We'll be back soon.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Happy knitting. Ciao, ciao.
Happy knitting. Bye-bye.